Time for the international papers now here on France 24. Elena with us on the set as ever. You're going to look at Venezuela first. Quite surprising, isn't it, that President Chavez suddenly came back very quickly after this long, mysterious absence?
Yes, let's have a look at how the Venezuelan press have reacted to it. Bear in mind that almost all the main papers in Venezuela are to a greater or lesser extent quite anti-Chavez. They're all owned by media moguls whose assets he's tried to privatise in the past and who have accused him of trying to censor them. So you don't really get a ringing endorsement of the president from any of the papers, but that doesn't mean they all have the same analysis on what his long and very mysterious absence has actually meant for the country's politics. Let's have a look first at Tal Cual, which an opposition mouthpiece, that is, which is quite scathing in today's article about the way those around Chavez lied, they say, to cover up the severity of his health problems. They call Chavez acolytes diminished orphaned leaders with delusions of power without the president around. But they say the best thing for Venezuelan democracy would be for Chavez to get better as quickly as possible so the opposition can run a clear electoral campaign against him next year without anyone's health being an issue. El Universal, on the other hand, take quite a different approach. They say that if Chavez is really suffering from cancer, then he's not fit to be running the country, and it's time for him to step down now and move aside for someone else to take over. They say an electoral campaign is a serious business that requires someone to be in perfect health, and there's no chance for Chavez to do it if he's having cancer treatment. So while the papers agree on that they don't particularly like the president, they're quite strongly divided on whether his absence there has proved that he's in fact essential to the country running properly, as Tal Cual say, or whether actually it's time for him to step down.
Now, I know you, the viewer, probably like a scandal. We all love a scandal. There's a big scandal going on in Britain at the moment. This is an incredible story, isn't it? News of the world phone hacking gone another step further, really.
This really is. We've been talking about this, of course, for months, even years now, as we know that the News of the World, the British Sunday tabloid, hacked the voicemail of hundreds of celebrities and politicians. But they really have gone a step further in the Guardian investigation that's on their front page today. Apparently, in 2002, News of the World journalists hacked the mobile phone voicemail of a disappeared 13-year-old girl, Millie Dowler. Now, she was abducted and killed, but during the time that she was missing, apparently News of the World journalists not only listened to her voicemail, but deleted messages from her friends and family in order to make room for more, so they could get more stories, which gave her family false hope that she might in fact be alive, because in phoning the email box they realised messages had been deleted, and also, of course, it deleted vital evidence that could have helped the police find and track and catch her killer more quickly. So the Dowler family's lawyer, quoted on today's Guardian front page, calls that hacking by the News of the World evil and despicable. And this is something in which there's broad consensus in a lot of the British papers today. As I said, it's a Guardian exclusive, but it also makes the front page of the Independent today and of the Telegraph. So it's across all political spectrums, except, of course, those newspapers owned by Rupert Murdoch, who does own the News of the World. And this is why this is important on an international level, of course, that he becomes more and more prominent. This is the same week when the Parliament is due to approve his takeover of those bits of Sky B, which he doesn't own, and this is one of Europe's biggest broadcasters. So it's a good moment for us to be analysing the behaviour of some of his journalists.
Yes, I'm sure the political forces will be in the UK as well at this point. Another story you pulled out, Daily Beast, Fox News fallen victim to hacking.
Yes, Fox News' political Twitter account announced some shocking news to its 37 followers last night. They announced that President Obama was dead, having been shot, as they said, in the neck and in the pelvis by a sniper in Iowa. Of course, that was a hoax, and the Daily Beast is having a look today at who managed to do that and why. They've traced it to a hacker group called Script Kiddies, linked to the now notorious Anonymous, who said they picked Fox as a target because, and this is me quoting them, they thought their security was probably just as lax as their reporting.
OK, and finally, you've just got time to mention a story from Iceland to do with smokers.
Yes, smokers in Iceland getting pause for thought with a bill that's going through Parliament there, which would completely ban the sale of cigarettes and restrict them just to being prescribed by doctors to those addicts who the doctors thought just couldn't give up, in the same kind of way that heroin addicts are sometimes prescribed methadone. A doctor quoted in the piece says that cigarettes are a drug, just like heroin, and they should be legislated with in the same way. It's a pretty harsh approach they're thinking about taking in Iceland to smokers.
Intriguing idea. I shall make no comment because I'll alienate 50% of the audience. All right, thank you very much, Elena, here with the newspapers today.